Good morning. Um, Today I'm starting uh, to share to you about the energy efficiency in industry. And then I'm not going to talk about the theory or the basic of fundamental theory about the energy efficiency in one area, but instead, rather I prefer to share to you about the energy efficiency case studies, which is based on my experience doing the energy efficiency project in industry. Mostly, I conducted energy audit in many in many industry and in many area. So please, you could find the theory related to the subject that I will present or I present in this YouTube. You could find the material related in on the YouTube also. There are so many materials talk about the basic concept of the energy efficiency in many aspects. So first of all, today I will share you. I'm going to share you about my experience about 2 or 3 years ago that I conduct compressed air system optimization on the coal-fired power plant. This coal-fired power plants located in the East Java, and then this power plant is one of the biggest power plant in Java, Indonesia. And then what I did, I just focus on the one of the unit of the coal-fired power plant, because there are around six until eight, maybe today about 8 power plant already installed there, but I'm just focused on the one of them. So I was starting with the summary of this project, and then as you can see in this presentation, in this slide, the total compressed air generating cost, which is the electricity. We talk about the electricity consumption. We talk about the electricity cost. Because all of the compressed air here in the power plant drive by electric motors, and so they consume their electricity. So for 1 year, they consume about, this compressor system consume about 7 million kilowatt hour per year, which is this is equivalent to cost about 8 billion rupiahs, and maybe about the 6 point something millions dollars. Yeah. And then it is equivalent about the 6,612 of tons of CO2 emitted by this compressed air system. And then what I found that the total saving, identified saving, because we conduct the energy audit here in the compressed air system, and then from them we identified the total energy saving is about it could reach about 1.5 million kilowatt hour per year. This is equivalent to about 1.6 billions rupiahs. This account about 20%. It is accounted about 20% of the energy consumption per year. So from this point, the total identified saving is quite significant, a lot, yeah, because it accounted about 20% of their energy consumption per year. The breakdown of the energy saving, identified energy saving, as you can see in this chart. Unfortunately, I haven't translated it to English, but maybe I can try to explain to you in English. And then, as you can see that there are 9 here. There are 9 identified energy saving. First of all, it is related to specific power consumption. As we know that one of the parameter to express their compressor performance is with the specific power consumption, which is the how many power do you need to produce a specific amount of air flow rate. We call this a specific power consumption, or we can state in unit of kilowatt hour per cubic feet per minute of air produced, compressed air produced. The second identified energy saving is we consider to try to detect the leakage on the air compressor system or compressed air system, and then if we look at the estimate costs from this leakage leakage improvement, it's quite significant. It's quite significant because it could save about 700 kilowatt hour per year. So in terms of the number, the reducing of the leakage, the air leakage, the reducing of the air leakage had the biggest energy potential of energy saving. So you have to consider about this. You have to be careful about this. Yeah? This is the something that everyone already knew, but many people don't realize that the energy saving potential from this action is quite significant amount. It is quite significant. Yeah, maybe the most significant thing. The most significant energy saving is come from the reducing of the air leakage. Yeah. Number 3, I recommend them to lower their pressure setting from 8.3 bar gauge to 7.3 bar gauge on the compressor unit 1 and 2. As you can maybe I will talk about this later. Yeah? How the reducing pressure could be could reduce the energy consumption. And then the fourth recommendation, it is related to the air leakage, and it is related to the compressed air user. Yeah, because I propose that they have to regulate, or they have to reduce the illegal using of the air compressor, the illegal using of the compressed air, or we can say another term, maybe an unappropriate, unappropriate use, unappropriate use of the compressed air, an unappropriate use of the compressed air. We know that compressed air mostly very often used for another purpose, like such as for the cleaning purpose, or for the cooling purposes. Yeah. And then if you use this compressed air for this purpose, which is for the cleaning and for the cooling, you waste the energy, because we don't need compressed air with the high pressure up until 8 bar, just only for cleaning and for cooling purposes. Otherwise, you can install another low pressure compressor to use for these purposes, and then you can reduce a significant amount of energy consumption. The fifth recommendation, I recommended them. They have to consider to use the efficient nozzle. You know that you always use the nozzle, which is you put on the end of the hose, for to deliver the compressed air to the using purposes. And then most of the nozzle is not efficient, because it is related to its design. By design, the nozzle is not efficient. So otherwise, you can use you can replace this kind of nozzle with the efficient nozzle. You can find this kind of nozzle on the market, and then you can replace the existing nozzle with the efficient nozzle. And then the eighth, I consider to replace the condensate drain from the solenoid types to the zero loss drain. I will talk about this later. And then the next recommendation, I recommend to improve their air quality, their compressed air quality, by reducing the dew point, so we can and then reducing the particle number that entrap in the compressed air. The next maybe number 10. It should be number 10. The next recommendation is I suggest to install the ducting to remove the hot air from the compressor motors. We know that this air compressor is driven by the electric motors, and then these electric motors, and then not just only electric motor, but also the system itself, the air compressor itself, release of the heat. It could be reach more than 100 degree of Celsius from the air compressor machine. So we need to release, or we need to canneling, or we need to flow this hot from the machine, from the air compressor to outside. But I suggest to install the ducting, so the heat, not entrapped in the compressor room. Because if you don't install the ducting, the heat from the compressed air, the heat from air compressor will entrap in the compressor room, and then increase the temperature of the machine, yeah, the temperature of air compressor and the dryer system. So it will it will have bad impact to the engine performance, or to the machine performance. And then the last one, maybe it should be number 11. I suggest to install the dew point demand switching system on their absorption dryer, because at the present they're using absorption dryer, and then I suggest to install the dew point demand switching system. We can talk about this on the next slides. So the detail of each of these recommendation, I will try to elaborate on this on the next slide. Yeah. I will try to explain this detail of the presentation on the next slides. Okay, and then as you can see that this table consists of the not just about recommendation itself, the explanation of recommendation, but I try to estimate annual savings in terms of kilowatt hours, in terms of CO2 that emit from this energy consumption, and then also I try to calculate the energy saving in terms of the money. And then in another column also I try to estimate the cost. I estimate the cost, but not of the cost I could calculate, because there are some limitation, because we need numerous data. We need a numerous data to calculate cost, and then we need we need a time. We need a time to calculate this, and then because this energy audit just only preliminary energy audit, so we don't detail it this calculation, especially in the in term of cost. So in the last column, I try to calculate the payback period, the simple payback period, which is the cost divided by the saving. Yeah, the cost divided by saving, we can get the simple payback periods, and then we need this number is lower as possible. Yeah, as lower as possible. So we can it can attract the funders. It can attract the management to invest their money. Okay.